Okay, so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I did a Q&A because I got so many questions, but these are the things that I searched for when I was looking to move to Barcelona, and the things that I wanted to know, the questions I wanted answers to. Now that I have the answers from my own experience, I thought might as well do a video about it. Okay, so the first question, why did you move to Barcelona? Well, me and my boyfriend, we moved to Barcelona for uni, honestly. When I was 19 and got out of high school, I started working, and I worked for about 5 years, but I was starting to get tired of it, and I wanted to do something else. I knew that I wanted to study, I just never knew what I wanted to study. And then my boyfriend, he was sort of in the same place. I mean, he wasn't too into the idea about studying, but he was fed up with his job, and we wanted to change, honestly. And I wanted to go to uni. We lived in a small town in Sweden, and he was honestly fed up with the town that we were living in. He was so bored, he wanted to move, and so we decided to do that. And we looked at options in Sweden, and we looked at Canada, but then he said, I could imagine living in a country where it's warmer weather. And I was like, oh, how about Spain? Because that's still in Europe, so it would be possible for us to go home to visit, and our dog could come without having to import him and without him having to quarantine. So we decided that Spain, Italy, or France were like the 3 options we had. And then I found the uni that I'm at, and Alex didn't really know if he wanted to study or not, but we found a university here in Barcelona where he found an interesting degree, so we decided to come here because it was the only city where the weather is warmer than Sweden. The dog could come without flying because we drove here, so we didn't have to fly, and where we both could go to uni. So that's why we moved to Barcelona. How much did it cost? What was the budget? Okay, so we didn't have too much money in the bank. We both paid for uni out of our own pocket. I mean, we do borrow money from the Swedish CSN, which is an authority that gives out student loans and student grants. It doesn't cover everything. We do pay a part out of our own pocket. But the thing is, like, the move here in itself didn't cost that much. We drove here, so it was ferry and then gas and the rental car. And then the thing that cost the most, honestly, was the position for the apartment. I think overall moving here, it cost around, let's say, it was 24 for the apartment, 2,400 euros, and then we paid extra to have it ready, and then the actual move, and then the move from Sweden. So all in all, I'd say maybe 3,500, 4,000 euros or something like that. Even though we're getting some of it back, I mean, we still had to pay it. So yeah, but I do recommend having like some money saved up. We didn't have to buy too many stuff. We didn't have to buy furniture and stuff, which was a really good thing. But the thing that I didn't really count on things being so difficult with authorities and stuff like that. To get the social security number, you had to pay for that. You had to speak Spanish to do it, which I don't. So I had to pay a translator to come with me to the appointment, and to make the appointment itself, it costs money. It was just a whole mess, honestly. The NIE process or TIE process is a nightmare. I can go into detail about that if anyone wants to, but it was just a nightmare, and you just had to keep paying like it was small sums, but it was here and there all the time. So it started to add up. And then when you move here, you want to do stuff. You want to go places, you want to eat out. You don't have to do those things, but I did. And especially in the beginning, when you want to make friends, everyone goes out, they eat. It could be, I would say have a couple of thousand euros just to be safe, because you are in another country and you never know what happens. People have been scammed out of their apartments. My friend got robbed, so he had to buy a new phone. He had to pay for a ticket home to Sweden to get his bank stuff in order, and it was just a whole mess. So it wasn't too expensive, but rather safe than sorry, honestly. What am I studying and how did I apply? I'm studying a bachelor's degree in international relations, and I'm in a business school. But the thing about my specific business school is that I do get it's a dual degree, so I get a degree from a business school and an actual university. So if I want to do my master's in a public university, I'm able to, which is the reason I chose my specific school. How to apply, that was a whole process. I had to get recommendation letters. I had to write my own essay, and I can go into details about that if anyone wants to know, but everything was on their website, and I just applied everything. But I had a Swedish agency that helped me be in contact with the school, which honestly, looking back, was unnecessary. It would have been easier to have a direct contact with the school, but that's what happened, and that's how I did it. And I applied in maybe April or so, and then I found out in June, I think. So yeah, what gave you the courage, and how did you prepare? The courage, honestly, was just boredom. I was fed up with my job. I wasn't too happy about it. I mean, it was a good job, don't get me wrong, and I love the people there, but it was too much for me. I was getting drained emotionally, physically. I was just over it. And then Alex really wanted to move, and so we just decided that now's the time. And once I applied, it was easy, honestly. And the preparations, we didn't prepare too much. Our family was just going crazy. They were so stressed out, and they were like, oh, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? And we were like, calm down, we have to do one thing at a time. And the first step was to apply, and we decided that if any of us get accepted and the other one doesn't, we're still gonna go. The other one would just have to get a job here. And then we had to give 3 months notice for our apartment in Sweden. So we did that, not knowing if we would get accepted or not. But then we did. So after that, we started planning how we were going to get here, which was by car. So we had to rent a car. We had to figure out how much we could bring. We ended up, night before we went, we had to like take out stuff out of the car because everything didn't fit. Half of my clothes are still in Sweden. So yeah, but the preparations, I think I did most of it, but you don't have to do that much. It's quite easy to get an apartment if you don't have a dog. And it's extra easy now because of Corona, so a lot of people unfortunately aren't able to pay rent, so they've been evicted, or people have moved home to their families because of Corona. So the rents are cheap right now, and there are a lot of available places. What's the biggest difference from Sweden? Everything is, like, with the authorities, everything is super weird. It's not, I mean, in Sweden, it's very strict in a way. Everything's by the book in a sense. Here it's not. I went to get my NIA number, and then the policeman that helped me said that my insurance card wasn't enough, and so I had to get a new appointment. And then when I came back, it was enough. And it's been a lot of back and forth. And okay, so for instance, we had a handyman. He was supposed to get here a certain day, and we waited, and he didn't show. And he was like, oh yeah, sorry, I didn't come, but I'm gonna come tomorrow. We're like, okay. Then tomorrow came, nothing. He didn't show. And then that went on for a week. And then the same handyman said he was gonna come one day, and I forgot. So he started calling me. He was like, where are you? And I was like, oh shit. Well, I'm sorry, I can't be home for like 30 minutes. So if that's okay, then I'll be there, but otherwise we'll have to schedule a new appointment. And then he got so mad, and I was like, well, I understand, like, it was an awful thing to do. Honestly, I shouldn't have forgotten, but I mean, you haven't showed up, you haven't been in touch with me, and that was a no big, and I shouldn't care about it. But when I forget, then it's not okay. That has been a big difference. And people like shout like at each other on the street. People yell, and maybe it's just because I don't know Spanish, so I don't know why they're yelling. Maybe it would be normal, but I think that's the biggest difference from Sweden, honestly. People interact more here, and it isn't as formal at all. My friend told me when he was working, he was trying to get a hold of a supplier, and then the supplier was, hey man, you want to get a beer, we can talk about it. And he's like, no. He was so confused because he thought it was so unprofessional in comparison to what he's used to. And the last question, what is it like making friends? Well, it's quite easy because of uni, but most of my friends are from Alex's school. So, but because I'm 24, and most of the kids that I go to school with are 18, 19. So it's a big age gap, honestly, and it's been super weird. It's been so weird to hang out with like people who are turning 18, and I'm like, I'm so old. But it's some people have been through a lot of things, and people come from all over the world, and people have traveled, and So it's been weird in a sense to make friends because there are a lot of cultural differences, there are a lot of age gaps, but it's also been really enlightening. I think it's fun and interesting to hear about other people's lives, and I wouldn't be too worried because that's a big difference between Sweden, I suppose, or maybe it's just people I hung out with in Sweden, but people are so friendly, open here. I met this one girl like at a bar, and she just, oh, come here, come with me, and then now it's like one of my best friends here, and she was like, give me your number, I'm gonna call you, and we're gonna go out. And she actually did get in touch with me, and that was actually so fun. That's actually something that I appreciate about being here, but it's not, I don't know if it's Spain related because she's from Lebanon, so maybe it's from there. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope this gave you like a little bit of an insight, and if there are any more questions, just drop them down below. Maybe I'll make a new video, or maybe I'll actually answer the comments. Probably, like, I don't get too many comments, so I mean, being able to answer one or two would be easy. I should be able to do that for sure. And if you did stick around to the end, and if you did watch this video, thank you. You are the real MVP, honestly. Thank you so much. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and the bell, I suppose. I have never ever, not once, hit the bell on anyone. I don't need the notifications because I'm on YouTube every single day, but do make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Love you all. Bye.